Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to talk about the first Metaverse Champions event. Now, we're going to talk about some things, basically the top 10 things that I would have done differently. Now, of course, this event was awesome. There's some great things before I get into some of the things that I would have done differently. I just want to say this is a great event. I think that it'd be nice to have more Metaverse Champions events, but there's some things that I would have done differently. So in this video, let's talk about the top 10 things that I would have done differently. Starting at the beginning was the fact that there was really no announcement for the event. Like, there was really no hype, there was no build-up. All there was leaks before the event. There was leaks that people who were devs, who were a part of the event, came up with the leaks, and then there was also my channel, several other leak channels, and other channels that released some of the information. We didn't really know much overall information about what was actually happening with the event here. Like, there was no actual announcement. We were expecting during the Bloxy Awards something. We were expecting an egg hunt, and that takes us to kind of the second reason that we're talking about, other than no announcement. Second reason was that it took over / replaced the egg hunt. So a lot of people were judgmental about this event early on just because of that reason. They were like, yo, wait a second. This we were expecting an egg hunt here. Like, this is not an egg hunt. We wanted ourselves an egg hunt. We wanted eggs. This is not that. This is something totally different. So this event itself was kind of judged a little bit harshly early on because it did basically take over the egg hunt event. And even for the devs thought that they were signing up for the egg hunt. So there was a little bit of a bait and switch thing there. So the fact that it replaced the egg hunt was one thing that I thought was kind of a negative aspect of this event. All right, so the next issue about this event that I want to talk about is the use of Arthro bundles as prizes. So not only were people judgmental about the fact that it was replacing the egg hunt, but it's like people are like, these are Arthro bundles, and they didn't really know what to expect from it. There was not really a lot of details early on, so people were calling it basically the Arthro event, and they thought that Roblox Arthro was taken over. So it kind of like opened up some old wounds with the whole Arthro thing. Some people are really still not on board with the Arthro aspect of Roblox items, but people just thought of it as this Arthro bundle event. And part of it is, again, because there wasn't a whole lot of information, but initially what we got exposed to for this event was the Arthro bundles. So a lot of people were thinking at first, like, is this all we're going for? Like what's going on? So the next item we're going to talk about here is games. Okay, so once it was released, we've got some information. We've got the whole thing's been released. We've got a misbalance of games. Like, we've got some games that are super popular, some games that are not so popular, and that's the thing, is like, there's been a misbalance. So next time, like, if there is another Metaverse event, hopefully they look at the monthly active users, like take the MAU and then just kind of divide it up so that each of the games and each of the champions have a little bit more of a level playing field on that sort of thing. So there was a misbalance of games there, kind of based on the popularity of games. So, like, seriously, like, one game can really tip the scales. Like, Sparks won. Guys, I can guarantee you that Sparks was not the favorite by the players, but her games were easy and there was a misbalance in the games. We're going to talk about some of those details and some more of these points that we're going to be addressing here in the video. But again, like, the misbalance of the games had a lot to do with it. So these next two that are somewhat related as far as points for this whole thing, the next one is misbalance of missions. So not only were the games misbalanced in popularity, because like Club Roblox, super popular game, and that was under Sparks, got a lot of points for her. The missions were difficult for some of them more than others. Like, Sparks, again, had super easy missions. AJ had really difficult missions. Some of the missions for AJ took like an hour, where some of the missions for Sparks took like 2 minutes. And on average, I think that Sparks had easier missions, and some of the other ones had some more difficult missions. So a misbalance of missions was another issue that we sort of had to deal with as a part of this event. So the next thing that we're going to talk to is that paywall. Guys, Emergency Response Liberty County, whatever that game is, it had a paywall through the event. People, in order to go and actually do that mission, they had to spend Robux in order to play the game, let alone go in the game and do the mission that they wanted you to do, which also took a little bit of time. And as a part of this kind of event, this was one of the bigger mistakes that I think, like, as far as like whoever set up the event, whoever allowed this whole thing, like when it's a part of an event, games should not have a paywall. Now, I know that some of the people who allowed it to happen rationalized it by saying, well, there's other games as a part of this event that they can get the exact same item, so they don't have to worry about it, but there's completionists, and there's people who this matters to. Now, I understand you guys, the gamers, I know what matters to you, and I would have not let this happen if I had control of it, but I didn't. Anyways, guys, was a big mistake, I think, allowing the emergency response Liberty County game to have a paywall during this event. Now, you know, I honestly don't really want to play that game, and I don't know. It was not really a good choice by the game developers and the people who allowed it to happen. But anyways, that was a huge mistake that hopefully does not exist again in the future when it comes to events on Roblox. Now, the next issue, this is a big one. This is one of the primary ones that we're talking about here, the pink Valkyrie rumor. Now, this rumor it really took over the event in a big way. Now, I think it ruined the event in a big way because I think it sort of sabotaged who was gonna win. Like this whole, like, of course there's those other things, the misbalance of missions, the misbalance of the games, and that kind of stuff, but this really, a lot of people continued to believe this, and they thought that if Sparks was gonna win, that they were gonna get a retextured pink Valkyrie helm, and this obviously did not happen. But the rumor was out there. There was nothing that could be done about it. And the fact that Roblox put the silhouette up there, you know, they sort of started the rumor in a way, but then some people, you know, kind of took it and ran with it. I tried my best to try to like explain to you guys that it wasn't legit, and I tried to use ways to explain to you so you guys would believe and know that I was not lying to you, which you guys know now. I showed the silhouette of what ended up being the Metaverse Valkyrie, but in doing that, I got kicked from the group in doing that, and I was no longer able to add any sort of input to the event or QA testing or any of that stuff. But, you know, I really think that the pink Valkyrie rumor is something that is going to be probably something that's remembered in this event more than a lot of other aspects of this event, because it was huge and it really had an impact, and I don't think that a lot of people really wanted Sparks to win. Most people even now still say that they wanted AJ or Faye to win. Not a lot of people on Team Sparks, but you know what? I mean, her grand prize item, honestly, those wings, in my own personal opinion, I didn't think that they were that great. I thought they were kind of lame. I liked the Metaverse Valk, so whatever. You know, there were some really good items as a part of this event, but I think that pink Valkyrie rumor really had a negative impact on this event overall. So I guess the only way to sort of prevent that sort of thing in the future is maybe getting the devs and the marketing people to communicate a little bit better so that that sort of thing does not happen. Next issue we're going to talk about mistakes made during this thing, so some people might agree or disagree. Too many games. Guys, there was way too many games. There was a lot of stuff going on here, like every week, 45 games, 45 missions, 12 for each champion. Like, that's a lot. Guys, like, if we're gonna have that many missions, we should have more than a week. We should have like 2 weeks maybe, or I think each week maybe 20 to 30 games, not 45 to 50 games each week, especially when some people are completionists and they really want to finish all of these games. Next mistake that I would bring up is the unclear details in the complicated rules of this event. Now, throughout this whole entire event, I was still getting a lot of questions. People were like, what is the minimum number that I have to get? Do I have to get every single thing? Like, do I have to get everything every week? There was an FAQ on the event page there that you could look at, and there was some information that was available there, but there was still a lot of information that was not available. So there was some information that like a lot of people just will still like up in the air. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know exactly what they had to do to earn any Arthro package, to earn the final prize, and to move forward as a part of this event. So there was just some unclear details. Now, it was very complicated in what it was. Like, some people, like, still to the last day, they were asking me, how can I get some more of these crates when the crates weren't available? Some people were saying, like, how do I vote for my favorite champion? I'm like, it's not like that. You got to go vote by the things that you are earning. So there was a lot of information, and the complexity of it, I think, if anything, if they're going to make something this complex or along these sort of lines in the future, just make it clear, just make the information clear, because a lot of these people have told me, I've had a lot of people tell me from very popular content creators and players and everything, let me know that, like, if they were just left to what Roblox told them, they would have no idea what to do in this event. Like, it took a lot of content creators and some of the information that they learned from me for them to even realize what this whole event was even about. Now, the next issue as a part of this event was that the lore was lacking. There was too little too late. At the end, they added this little thing at the end, and you could learn a little bit about the champions. But guys, I think this whole thing would have been so much better. First of all, if we kind of touch back on a previous one, that there was no early announcement. They should have made an early announcement, something towards the end of the Bloxy Awards. Also, during that announcement, give us some lore. Tell us about the champions. Tell us about the story. Tell us about maybe, like, apparently 1x1x1x1 was one of the villains. Why is he a villain? What's going on? What did he do? What are we looking for? What's the incentive? It would have gotten people a little bit more involved. And also, if we could learn a little bit more about the champions, maybe our whole tribal nature in choosing which one that we wanted would have been a little bit easier. Because, like, how many people actually knew that Ren was non-binary? Ren is a they, them, you know. We got AJ, who has this really incredible backstory, apparently, about his arm being cybernetic, but we don't really know what's going on there. So the lore was lacking, and towards the end, they added a little bit of information there, but it was too little too late. It would have been really nice, and it would have really added to the event if they would have added some more lore in the beginning. Another issue that happened, guys, one of the final weeks, was it week 3, week 4, Bloxtopia shut down. There was a game that was a part of the event, and then apparently they used some assets that was from a thumbnail from a YouTuber, but then the whole game was shut down. It was one of the easiest games to get one of the crates for that week, and then boom, gone. The game's gone. Nobody can go back there, and nobody can get that. So kind of talks to the misbalance, and then also just some issues. Just that Roblox probably should have done a better job vetting these games and these missions overall, knowing that they were going to be a part of an event. Now, last thing I'm going to talk about here is just basically a missed opportunity. Like, a final battle would have been so awesome. If we went in there, we got to go up through a portal against 1x1x1x1, and like we had to have 4 people, 1 person dressed as each champion, go in there, do a final battle, get the final grand prize. It would have been so awesome. So there's not so much of a complaint or something that they've done wrong, but more of a, hey, this is a missed opportunity. This would have been a very awesome thing for you guys to have done. But guys, anyways, that is it. That is the Metaverse Champions event. There were some pros to the event. Of course, it was great. I enjoyed it. I loved a lot of the missions. I really had a good time launching these things. Some of the items that we were able to get were amazing. I think that the artists did a fantastic job. Rost and my pasta evil artists, you guys did incredible. Big Bad Bob, you did amazing. Like, a lot of you guys did such a good job. So huge shout out to the people who put this together. It's just that, you know, there would have been some things that I would have changed as a part of this, and hopefully it would be a lesson learned for future Metaverse events. And yeah, if you guys are new here, would love to have you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.